According to the 2020 Federal Human Trafficking Report, the Internet is a major platform for traffickers to recruit sex trafficking victims and solicit buyers of commercial sex. In 2020, 59% of online victim recruitment in active sex trafficking cases occurred on Facebook. Welcome to Beyond the News, I'm Faye. This year at March, the 60 Minutes show has interviewed a woman who is suing Facebook. She was a victim of sex trafficking at 15. She accused Facebook should be held responsible. Here is her story. Nearly a decade after she was pulled into sex trafficking, the young girl is telling her sad story for the first time. The girl, who is now 24 years old, asked to remain anonymous. She was too fearful to reveal her face on the show. She used the name Jane Doe to protect her identity. She started to tear up before talking. The host asked her, "How are you feeling now?" And she replied,
"I don't have a feeling."
What do you mean?
I don't feel sad. I don't feel mad. I don't feel happy. I don't know.
Jane says in 2020, when she was 15 years old and still living with her mother in Texas, she got a friend request on Facebook from a man who was using a fake account. But of course back then, she didn't know it was fake. She thought it was just a boy at her own age, so she accepted his request. The man started talking to her and often praised her on her looks and got her attention. Finally, the two met, and he offered to pay her $2,000 a week to work as a model.
He waited until I got into an argument with my mother, and I just wanted to go. So I was feeling like the best option was to go make $2,000 being a model at the time. So that's when we met.
The sex predator picked her up and drove her to a hotel to take modeling photos. But Jane quickly realized that something was horribly wrong.
These are not model pictures. I'm half naked. I'm in a bra and panties. And I told him, I said I wanted to go home. I don't want to be here. And as soon as I said that, I got hit.
Then the next 12 hours turned into a living nightmare. The man raped Jane and posted her explicit photos to Backpage, which was then the nation's largest online marketplace for prostitution. Then the worst thing happened to her. Strange men started to show up, and she was raped multiple times within hours. And the predator just sat there and collected money from those strange men. Eventually, Jane was able to access her phone and called her mom, who alerted the police. Her trafficker and one of the rapists were arrested, convicted, and sent to prison for decades. Now, Jane is suing Facebook in a case that could go all the way to the Supreme Court, alleging the social media company doesn't do enough to stop sex trafficking, failed to take steps against sex predators on its platform. Jane says Facebook is partially to blame for what happened to her and thousands of other girls who were victims of sex trafficking. The CEO of the Human Trafficking Institute, Victor, said on CBS Wednesday that the Internet has become the dominant tool that traffickers use to recruit victims, and they often recruit them on a number of very common social networking websites. And the victims are overwhelmingly women and children. 50% of the victims are children specifically.
What we've learned about victims is that they are overwhelmingly women and children. So 50% of the victims are children, and a large majority are women. So 44% are women, 50% are girls, 44% are women.
Federal officials have estimated that up to 100,000 minors are trafficked for sex in the United States every year. In 2019, an estimated 40% of them were victimized after initially meeting the traffickers online. And actually, for the second year in a row, Facebook was the main platform through which sex traffickers recruited their victims. 65% of these victims were minors, and the remaining 35% were adults. Instagram, also owned by Facebook, is the second app where more cases of underage recruitment occurred. For adult victims, the next most cited was WeChat, since this Chinese social media network became popular in the United States. But remember, the Trump administration banned this app last year to avoid spying from the CCP. But now Biden has just reversed this situation, allowing this spy tool to be used in America again. Okay, in WeChat, bad things happen. That is not surprising, as it is a thing made within the communist China. Made in China. But Facebook, being the third pool of such sinister activities, this does shock me. I thought Facebook was very keen on censoring sensitive information, isn't it? But now, why are they so unkeen to censoring those dirtbags that harm young girls? What is going on? Do you know the reason? Leave me a comment below. Now the question is, how is the Facebook reacting to this? Well, Facebook said sex trafficking and child exploitation are abhorrent and we don't allow them on Facebook. We have policies and technology to prevent these types of abuses and take down any content that violates our rules. A Facebook spokesman told dailymail.com that the company takes strong measures to thwart sex trafficking. But in Jane's case, it doesn't seem so. And in the 2020 Federal Human Trafficking Report, Facebook is still the highest sex trafficking platform that's being used. And what they said doesn't seem to be effective at all. On February 25, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, released this 2020 report for hosting child sexual exploitation content, while Facebook took 95% of the total incidents. To make it more specifically, as one of NCMEC's goals is to eliminate child abuse material, sex trafficking, and online enticement of children. During 2020, there are 21.4 million reports of instances of apparent child sexual abuse material showed on their systems. Of the 21.4 million reports, Facebook records 20.3 million incidents of child sexual abuse, a figure that represents 95% of the total number of cases. So, to take it very seriously, if you are a father or an uncle to a young girl, make sure that she knows well enough about the danger of the Facebook brings when using this platform. We are looking forward to seeing some really effective approaches Facebook uses to deal with this problem. Alright, thank you for your time watching today's program. Beyond the News, I'm Faye. Until next time.